The entitlements are found in the budget bill Democrats just settled on Tuesday. Bear in mind that unlike with the bipartisan infrastructure bill, Democrats can use reconciliation to push the social piece through the Senate without the help of Republicans, as long as the party remains united on the cost.
We're going to get this done.
President Biden on Capitol Hill Wednesday to rally support for the $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation plan. It includes things like free universal pre-K, 2 free years of community college, home care for the elderly, and climate change. All items Democrats did not get in the $1.2 trillion bipartisan physical infrastructure bill that focuses mostly on needs like bridges and highways. Virginia Senator Mark Warner has worked on both bills.
I'm going to do my best to try to convince people that this is the moment when we need to make the kind of investment in childcare, in preschool, in dealing with the challenges around the climate.
Warner says financing for the so-called social infrastructure piece would come mainly through increased taxes on the rich. Economic experts differ on whether that would work.
If the Biden administration were able to essentially push along some tax increases that would pay for it, then at least you can say, that is not adding primarily to debt and deficits. And so I would say that alone is a positive development.
The president claims that the plan is fully paid for by his tax increases on upper income individuals. But when you strip away all of the gimmicks that are in his budget, you find that the plan is underfunded over the next 10 years by about $1 trillion. That is, the plan will add about $1 trillion to the national debt.
Outside of tax increases, Warner says there are other funding sources.
Every Treasury Secretary, Democrat or Republican, says if we simply enforce our existing tax laws, it's the so-called tax gap where people aren't paying their taxes that are due. If we do that in a fair way, there's literally, the current IRS commissioner appointed by President Trump said there's $1 trillion. Now, I'm not sure there's $1 trillion, but there's a lot of money there.
An investment that some say could actually save the country money in the long run.
When we're talking about infrastructure, there is a cost to making those improvements and repairs, but there's also a huge cost to failing to do it. And then one could perhaps rightly ask the question, can the same things be said of the social aspects of this agenda?
Kogan sees a problem in that entitlements may not be going to those who really need them most.
We estimate that about 40% of all of the entitlement benefits under the Biden family's plan will end up going to individuals that are in the upper half of the income distribution.
Lawmakers are working feverishly on both bills at the same time, realizing that while separate, they are inextricably bound. Both could hit the Senate floor for debate within the next several days. Eric Phillips, CBN.